Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm truly humbled and deeply honored to be here today, standing before all of you. Memorial Day is a day unlike any other. Since 1868, we have come together in our communities, our towns, and our villages to place flowers and flags on the graves of those who have given their last full measure of devotion to our country. We have come here to remember and honor those who have done their duty as God allowed them to see that duty. I'd like, if you could please raise your hand if you have had either a family member or you've known somebody that has passed away while serving in our armed forces. And thank you. Thank you for all your family's commitment. The Americans who have died in the past wars did their duty, and we know truly who they all are as we visit the cemeteries and note the dates of their shortened lives on the headstones. We know their loved ones, their wives, the mothers, the fathers, their children, and their friends who will always miss them. But let me mention one of the most recent big wars that our country has been in. It was number two, not only because there was a previous war that was thought to be a world war, but because reasonable men rightly assumed there might be such more huge conflicts that would literally embrace the globe. It was World War II. This is a time when the good and evil contended for the world. All the largest things were at stake. In just that war alone, in the 48 months of World War II, there were 1,078,162 American casualties, with 407,316 deaths, or 6,639 Americans dying in combat each month of that war. But thank God not all of our soldiers have passed away. Of the 16 million who wore a uniform, some of them are still with us here today, thankfully. Winston Churchill was quoted during that time stating that the United States is like a gigantic broiler. Once the fire is lit under it, there's no limit to the power that it can generate. We came together and we prevailed. These citizen warriors are among us today. Some are sitting here. Look at these men again. Look at what they are, what they have been, and what good they have done for their country and the cause of freedom around the world. To honor them and their comrades who graves people visit today. Look to them for guidance for the present and guidance for the future. We shouldn't look at the era in which they toiled and sacrificed if we were visiting a museum or an archaeological site. We should look at what they did, how they did it, and in doing so, honor them by imitating their courage, their sacrifice, and their excellence. Their accomplishments are astonishing to us, and we should learn from them. They have left a legacy of freedom to us, and they have taught their children and their children's children the value of sacrifice and work and virtue, the necessity of conditions of freedom, and they taught us the love for our country. These soldiers have become our teachers. Their presence here and their words and the deeds of their lives remind us of the human excellence of the things for which we all stand, and the courage that is necessary to maintain those exact things. They taught us what it meant to be a citizen and the best hope here on earth. How is it possible to honor such men, both dead and living currently? Perhaps we cannot do any better than to call you all the greatest generation of the greatest country in the world. Perhaps we should make certain that your stories are told to the young. Perhaps we should imitate both your purposes and lives in both peace and war. Perhaps we should just sincerely thank you for making sure that this island of liberty will continue. Perhaps we should just say, along as Abraham Lincoln once said, gold is good in its place, but living, brave, patriotic men are better than gold. I want to personally acknowledge and thank all the Armed Forces members here today and their spouses and their families for their service. Because of you and the many others who are not able to be here with us today, we enjoy the very freedoms our forefathers fought so hard for. We are in your debt and we thank you. May God always bestow his blessings upon you. And for that, I would like to now introduce Pastor Jeff Snyder from Churchill Memorial United Methodist Church for the benediction. Thank you.
Let us pray together and receive the blessing of God the Father Almighty. Our gratitude for your generosity grows with each passing day. We acknowledge this day's special blessing. We have honored those who now enjoy your eternal embrace. We We ask your blessing upon all who are present here this day. Especially do we seek your consolation for those recently bereaved. May your grace be with them and with us now and forever. And if by your will, may we all be favored to gather again in these circumstances and in this company before another year has passed. This we pray. Amen.
Under the shelter today? Yes? Preferred under the shelter than in the field? Thank you. On behalf of the Town of Boston Memorial Day Committee, I would like to thank all of you for coming, and this concludes our service. There will be a small program at the Boston Commons immediately following, if anyone would like to join us there. Thank you.